Welcome to my channel Mindset Mastery Hub, where I'll be sharing with you the summary of best books on success in all fields of life. Today, I'll be sharing with you the summary of The Deep Work by Carl Newport. Author Carl Newport is a globally recognized author. This book, The Deep Work, is published in over 35 languages. More than 18,000 readers have reviewed this book on Amazon, and it has got 4.6 stars on Amazon. So let's begin with the summary of this book, The Deep Work. This book tells different techniques and methods to increase the productivity at workplace and get enough free time for the personal life. Author says the best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult. One of the simple techniques to improve the efficiency at workplace is by keeping a scoreboard. Author says it's important that one need to have a public place to record and track their target goals. To maintain a focus on lead measures is to put in a place a rhythm of regular and frequent meetings of a team that owns a similar important goals. During these meetings, the team member must show their scorecard, commit to specific actions to help improve the score before the next meeting, and describe what happened with the commitments they made at the last meeting. Author says to make this meeting effective, it should be only for a few minutes, but it must be regular to get the results. Author says that it's this discipline where the execution really happens. Author recommends the habit of a weekly review in which you make a plan for the work week ahead. It helps to understand why, looking at the scorecard, which are good weeks, and helps to understand what led to a bad weeks. And most importantly, figure out how to ensure a good score for the coming days. This helps one to adjust the schedule to meet the needs of the goal, enabling more deep work than if one had avoided such review meetings altogether. Author says idleness is not just a vacation. It is necessary to the brain as vitamin D is necessary to the body, and deprived of it, one would suffer a mental instability. So idleness is necessary to get any work done. With deep work, one should make serious efforts that create the products for which the world values. These efforts need the support of a mind which is regularly released for a leisure time. This strategy tells that you should follow by injecting the regular and substantial freedom from the professional challenges into your day, providing you with the idleness which is required to get the work done. Author suggests a more applicable but still quite powerful ways to get the results. Author says at the end of the workday, shut down your system and all your work issues until the next morning. Do not check even the emails. Even after having dinner, do not do any mental replays of the conversations and no scheming about how to handle the upcoming challenges. Shut down thinking about the work completely. If you need more time, then extend your working hours. But once you shut down, your mind must be left free to do leisure activities. Author says that it's worth taking the time to understand the science behind the value of downtime. The three major benefits to stop working and shut down your laptop altogether are: benefit number 1. Downtime helps to set out to prove that some decisions are better left to your own subconscious mind to untangle, thereby moving on to something else while letting the subconscious mind to think over your decisions. So shutdown habit is not necessarily reducing the amount of time you are engaged in productive work, but it instead helps in diversifying the type of work you deploy. Benefit number 2. Shutdown time helps recharge the energy needed to work deeply. Studies have found that spending time in nature can improve your ability to concentrate. This theory is based on the concept of attention fatigue. For concentration, directed attention is required. Author says that resources of attention is limited. So, if you completely exhaust your attention, you will struggle to concentrate. Scientists tried to prove this theory by conducting an experiment where people were made to walk on a busy city streets. For people to walk on the street, they needed to use the directed attention, as they must figure out when to cross a street or not to get run over, or when to move around this slow group of tourists blocking the sidewalk. After just 30 minutes of this focused navigation, the people's focused attention was low and reduced. However, when these same people were made to walk through the nature, they were freed from having to direct attention. as there were few challenges to navigate like crowded street market or signal crossing or looking at the vehicles all around. After just 50 minutes of such replacement, the people enjoyed a boost in their concentration and were able to perform well in their workplace. So this experiment proves that when you give rest to focus, it can restore your ability to direct your attention to do deep work. Benefit number 3. Evening work should not include any important task. The implication of these results is that your capacity for deep work in any given day is limited. If you are careful about your schedule, you should hit your daily deep work capacity during the first 3 or 4 hours of your work. Therefore, by evening, you are beyond the point where you can continue to effectively work deeply. So, your late evening work should not be a high value activities that helps you to advance in your career. Your evening activities should be a low value activities which can be executed at a slow, low energy pace. By doing this, you are not missing out the important task to complete for that day. Author says sometimes it's good to have boredom. One can read good spiritual books of one's interest in the early hours of morning at around 6 am. This daily practice will help you to improve your ability to think deeply. Studies has proven that by reading good books early in the morning, one begins to notice positive changes in his own ability to think deeply. One can see creative insights in one's business or career growth. Researchers have revealed that constant switching online has a lasting negative effect on our brain. In one of the experiments, people were allowed to do multitasking, and it was found that these multitaskers could not differentiate between relevant and irrelevant work. These people can't manage working efficiently as they were constantly distracted by doing other activities. On the other hand, the people who did only one task at a time concentrated on one thing and therefore they were laser focused on their goal. Don't take breaks from distraction. Instead, take breaks from focus. Instead of scheduling the occasional break from the distraction so that you can focus on your work, it is better to schedule the occasional break from focus to get away from the distraction. For example, consider working in the absence of the internet with more focused work. The strategy works as follows. To make this strategy work, schedule in advance when you will use the internet and then avoid altogether outside these times. One can even keep a track of this ritual in your writing pad. In this writing pad, record the usage of the internet until you arrive at that time where absolutely no network connectivity is allowed, no matter how tempting it is to look at the online stuffs. By segregating internet usage, you are minimizing the distraction time. Some of the 3 important points to consider to help you succeed are: point number 1. This strategy works even if your job requires lot of internet use and prompt email replies to your clients. The total number of your internet time blocks does not matter nearly as much as making sure that your offline work block remains intact. Point number 2. Regardless of how you schedule your internet time blocks, you must keep the time outside these internet blocks absolutely free from the internet usage. The most common challenge you will be facing when executing this limited usage of internet is that when you need to check the internet to continue making progress on your current task, or else you might end up stuck. The temptation in this situation is to look up for the information. So after getting the information from the internet, then return immediately to your offline work block because the internet is very addictive. Sometimes, if your offline work is not working, do not immediately shift to online work or internet browsing. Instead, switch to any other offline work even if you need to fill this time with some relaxation or leisure activity. Point number 3. Scheduling internet usage at home as well as at work can further improve your concentration training. If you find yourself glued to a smartphone or laptop throughout your evenings and weekends, in this case, authors suggest to maintain the strategy of scheduling internet usage even after the working hours are over. The simple strategy of scheduling internet time blocks goes a long way towards helping you regain your attention autonomy. During this offline work, there should be only one possible way to get the deep task done in time, working with great intensity, with no email breaks or no Facebook browsing, no repeated trips to the coffee machine, and even keep your smartphone away and ignore text messages. Complete your task with great level of concentration. Deep work requires high level of concentration well beyond where most knowledge workers are comfortable. One strategy to systematically increase the level of your productivity is by following the technique of productive meditation. The goal of productive meditation is to utilize your time in which you are occupied physically but not mentally, like walking, jogging, driving, showering, and focus your attention on a single, well defined professional challenge you are facing at present. By taking one task during this productive meditation will help you to move ahead a lot in your targets and will see a significant results. To succeed with productive meditation, like any form of meditation, it requires practice to do well. Productive meditation sessions accelerate the pace at which you improve your ability to go deep in your work. Quit social media. We are increasingly using these social media tools and are killing our time and reducing our ability to concentrate. And therefore, more usage of these social media tools are taking our time from the attention and focus, and it will be harder to maintain focus on something important. Therefore, to master the art of deep work, you must take back control of your time and attention from any distraction that take away your precious time. It's important to note that accepting these social media tools are not always evil and can be quite vital to your success at workplace, but at the same time should be much more stringent with the usage of time, and that most people should therefore be using many fewer such social media tools. The social media services are engineered to be addictive, robbing time and attention from activities that support our professional and personal goals. If we use these social media tools for unlimited time, then you are surely going to fail to succeed in the world of knowledge work. For many knowledge workers, the limited use of many of these social media tools in their lives will be equally complex. The goal of this strategy therefore is to offer some structure to this thought process, a way to reduce some amount of complexity of deciding which tools really matters to you. The first step of this strategy is to identify the main high-level goals in your both professional and personal life. If you have family, for example, then your personal goal might involve parenting well or running an organized household. One can have a small number of goals in both personal and professional life. Once you have identified these goals, list for each the 2 or 3 most important activities that help you to satisfy the goals. These activities should be specific enough to allow you to clearly picture doing them. On the other hand, they should be general enough that they are not tied to any one-time outcome. The next step in this strategy is to consider the network tools you are currently using. For each such tool, go through the key activities you identified and ask whether the use of these tools has a substantially positive impact or a negative impact or little impact on your regular and successful participation in the activity. Now comes the important decision. Keep using these tools only if you concluded that it has a substantial positive impacts and that these outweigh the negative impacts at your workplace. Example, if your personal goal is to maintain a close and rewarding friendship with a group of people who are important to you, the key activities to support these goals are like regularly taking out time for the meaningful connections with these who are more important to you. These support activities can be a long walk or going for a dinner together, but instead of this, if you are engaged in talking to your Facebook friend, then this will not serve the purpose to reach your personal goal. The law of vital few states that 80% of a given result is due to just 20% of the possible actions in the most situation. So this law of vital few reminds us that most important 20% of our activities provide the maximum benefit. If you are spending maximum time on low impact activities, thereby you are taking away the time you are spending on the high impact activities. So therefore, instead of using the time on low impact activities like finding a online friends on Facebook or aimless internet browsing activity, instead invest the time in high impact activities like taking a good friend on a lunch or discussing on some key topics which support to achieve your goals, and you will end up more successful in achieving your goal. Don't use the internet to entertain yourself. Many working men make a mistake of spending the free time in watching OTT platform movies or hanging around with the friends who don't have any clear goals. This attitude is harmful and unhealthy to move towards your goal. They could utilize their free time productively in self-improvement tasks like reading self-improvement books or attending evening seminars which will help you claim the steps of your career growth after working hours. With the rise of internet and the low browsing cost, working young professionals, especially those in tech-savvy millennial generation, have seen the quality of their leisure time remain degraded, consisting of distracted, limitless mouse clicks on the least value getting from digital entertainment. These social media platforms are especially harmful after the workday is over, where people spend complete evenings till one goes to bed in online activities. In other words, this strategy suggests that when it comes to your relaxation, don't indulge in internet activities that catches your attention. Fill this free time with something of more quality time. Example like reading books for your kids or reading some interesting books for the self-growth or even doing gardening. During this time, it is better to keep away your smartphone and computer off till the next morning. For most businesses, if one eliminates the significant amount of low value tasks, then one can replace this recovered time with more of the high impact activities that will help the business to function more successfully. Decide in advance what you are going to do with the every minute of your workday. It's natural at first to resist this idea, and instead of getting busy in easy activities that are low value, engage yourself in high value activities, even though they are sometimes challenging to complete. But by overcoming these challenges, this will take you towards your goal. An advantage of scheduling your day is that you can determine how much time you are actually spending in shallow activities. Author defines this shallow work as logistically styled tasks or those of your activities which can be done by someone else. These shallow activities tend not to create much new value addition in your world and are easy to replicate. Some of the examples of shallow work are like checking emails or scheduling a conference call. Finish your work by 5:30 in the evening. Author says this commitment fixed schedule productivity. Author says to fix a goal of not working past a certain time. Then work backward to find productivity strategies that allow you to meet this declaration. Author says by practicing this fixed schedule productivity, it helps one to build a productive professional life centered on deep work. Dear friends, my favorite quote from this book is, "If you can't learn, you can't thrive." Call to action to all my viewers. Dear viewers, from this book, I am going to start and implement the habit of making internet time block when I am doing a deep work. Write in the comment box what you like the most from this video and which technique you are going to implement. Thank you friends for watching these inspiring videos. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe now and hit the bell icon to get the notification for my next videos, as I will be sharing with you every week many more such inspiring videos. Share this video with your friends and family members who are trying to find different possibilities to increase their productivity at workplace. Thank you.